So I'm here with Folklore Suburbia. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and what you play.
I'm Michael, guitar.
I'm Nathan, rhythm guitarist and singer.
Joshua, drums.
Paul, bass.
Go ahead and give a little band history, how you guys formed and.
Well, Michael heard some of my stuff back when I was 17 or something. So that would have been 5 or 6 years ago. And then he proposed doing a collaboration between the two of us. And then a little while after that, he brought Josh on board. And then we went through a few different bass players and settled on Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It ended up being 3 middle-aged guys and one 24-year-old. Not a very sexy band.
Just count me out.
So you said you guys were working on some stuff together before?
Yeah, mostly my stuff, and we tried writing some stuff together too.
Kind of the same stuff that you guys are doing now?
Yeah, although the sound was pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot less heavy, it would not qualify as punk, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Josh joined, I learned to embrace my punk-loving side, much to
Yeah,
my
Nathan's-
chagrin.
Nathan's songs, a lot of them were like stories, and when we were trying to come up with a name, I suggested Folklore Suburbia because a lot of the songs, not anything we're doing right now, but he's got songs about murderers and ships sinking and stuff like that, and some of the lyrics are kind of vague, and I like the way that 2 or 3 different people can tell a story that's always been told to them, and it's different every time. That to me is what folklore is.
Yeah.
But it was folklore of modern times, so Walmart folklore, the society we live in now.
Suburban-
Instead of what you
sound of
think
that.
Suburban
Lawrence
folk
isn't
music.
really the suburbs, but I suggested Folklore Suburbia. Immediately regretted it and hated the name, which I had mentioned it, but Nathan said he kind of loved it, so that's what we chose.
It's a cool name.
I was going to call us the Electric Minstrels, but that was worse.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I thought Monkey Puss was really good.
Three
Monkey
guys in
Puss.
another-
So what are you guys' influences?
I like Justin Bieber and Rihanna, and then
Toilet flush?
Britney Spears.
Musical instrument.
I like the sound
Washing machines?
of farts and shit hitting the toilet bowl and stuff.
I like when you turn on an old TV set and it just goes.
That's
my
a major
favorite.
influence.
The static.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do have a lot of really varied influences. Mike writes a lot of really cool stuff that sounds a lot like The Residents, and we've worked on a few different projects together before. I've known Mike for a long time, and I'm not really sure what Paul's influences are, but Nathan and I kind of share different influences, but kind of the same vein.
We
for
have
a
the
lot
same
of stuff.
obsession with
Like a lot of old school punk.
classic
yeah.
punk like Black Flag and
Yep.
Dead Kennedys, Wire,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
So what are your influences?
Oh, I'm kind of the Doris Day of the band.
The Doors Day.
I played rock, hard rock,
Yeah.
and country, and blues, and some jazz. And this was kind of an attempt to get out of my comfort zone
Mm-hmm.
and to try to expand what I was thinking. And it's
How are
really
we
helped for
doing?
that. Yeah, it's different. But then again, it's different. I've heard this before in different ways, and what I'm excited about is the combination of the opposites,
Mm-hmm.
the hard and yet melodic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
poppy and yet a little different.
Yeah,
Like maybe not necessarily in even a good way, but different.
like
Yeah.
a couple hooks and a lot of attitude really go a long way in music. At least what I like, what makes me want to listen to a song a second time is
That
definitely,
catchiness to it.
a hook and the attitude of the song.
Yeah.
Whether it's sad or, I don't really have a lot of place in my collection for mediocre music. So whatever it is that you're doing, do it all the way. Just
Sounds like Lou Reed.
yeah,
3 chords and an attitude.
So
absolutely.
We were talking earlier, your influences, you said you really like the electrical,
Yeah,
electronic.
it's
or
really
whatever.
varied. I like anything from old blind black guys with an acoustic guitar playing on their front porch to guys in basements with modular synthesizers playing experimental stuff.
Mhm.
I think noise is as important as music. I mean, I can sit outside and just listen to what's going around,
Mhm.
and that sounds like a composition to me. But I like a lot of I grew up on rock music too, and like when I was like 20, Michael Paul, who's Nathan's dad, turned me on to punk, and I literally had to be taken by the hand and saying, this is why this is awesome, because these people don't necessarily know what they're doing,
Mhm.
but they're doing the hell out of it anyway. They're saying, here I am in all my fucked up glory.
Yeah.
And after I had somebody explain that to me, I got it, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, this stuff is brilliant. You don't have to have 10 years of theory and
Absolutely.
all
Yeah,
that shit
yeah,
in
yeah.
in
A lot of
order
times
to
that-
play good music, and sometimes that shit just gets in the way of saying something meaningful.
Yeah, it can ruin it. I was a theory student, and it was like the worst thing that happened to me. I had to. It turned music into trigonometry
Yeah.
or something. And there was all these. In theory, they study the great composers, and there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And
Yeah.
of course, I want to choose the wrong way every fucking time. So I had to almost like unlearn that stuff, because for
Yeah.
a while I was thinking, well, maybe jazz is the way. Maybe that's
Yeah.
the way to, maybe experimental droney kind of.
It is math. It
chaos,
is
yeah.
math, but it's not
Yes.
just math.
Right. I mean,
You know?
it should be math that you don't have to think of while you're doing it, and that's the problem I have with making music using the rules of theory. Is it just takes the fun out of it, and it takes the attitude away.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
first, like sometimes the first take is the best, just because everybody's fresh and everybody's feeling it, and
Mhm.
On the other, I like a lot of prog rock too, and that's a punk rock no-no.
Yeah,
Certainly
he's a
is.
prog rock fan and a shoegazer, and if Michael had his way, our songs would be 15 minutes long and full of
Because
guitar.
they'd all be in 10/8 time.
10/8 time. I took one music theory class in high school, and it made me feel like an idiot.
Really?
Yeah. So after that, I just rebelled against it by playing the most god-awful sounding shit that I could think of.
So Nathan, you're the songwriter, correct? You
That's
write
correct.
most of the stuff, and then so how does the process of putting the songs together with you guys? Like you present them and practice, or whatever, and
I usually record some kind of acoustic demo of it, and
Mm-hmm.
then email it to these guys and write out some chords. and stuff.
occasionally we work on some stuff together. Too.
Yeah,
Like,
me and him have
like
started.
sinus infection, we kind of developed part of that. Like I think that was after a night of significant drinking.
No, that was Leech.
Yeah, we-
Sinus infection is my song, bitch.
Oh, okay.
And I noticed, like, on your Facebook page, that you've done a lot of the artwork for the band stuff or whatever.
Well,
flyers
so
and
far just one.
logos or whatever.
So far just one flyer.
And
but
one badass
probably gonna
flyer.
be doing. Probably gonna
Yeah.
be doing more.
Yeah.
'cause
The artwork is better than the band.
So do you draw a lot of influence to your artwork from the music that you do, vice versa or whatever? Anything, or just
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just I just draw and I don't really know what's going to come out
Yeah.
beforehand. Like that particular flyer, it was just like, oh, we need a flyer for the show.
Yeah.
And I just did what I normally do, but I wrote Folklore Suburbia and put the date of the show and
Yeah.
everything on it. And
I really
People liked it.
dig your artwork. It's really cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Michael's aside from being a great musician, he's an amazing visual artist as well, and he's got a lot of really great stuff.
And just stupid prolific, like all, every day almost.
Yeah.
It seems like I see a new drawing.
Something new.
Yeah.
So you guys are pretty new
You get
on the
hard.
scene. You guys only had like one show so far.
One show so
One
far,
big show.
yes.
So you guys have any like favorite band moments so far? I know it's pretty young. And
My favorite band moment. My favorite band moment was the freak out at the end of our lap.
yeah,
Yeah.
so there's a freak out?
He knocked over the drum set, and then I got a little bit crazy. Well, there was some drinking involved, and stuff kind of happened.
And
What's
this is
that
at your
crap
last
called?
show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fireball.
Some public intoxication.
it's
Don't-
entertaining to
don't
me
do
'cause I'm
that.
teetotal.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
bad.
party at all, so
He doesn't.
I just kind of stand by and hope they wouldn't hit my effects
I don't
board or
party
knock
at all.
my amp.
Michael's clean.
But it was good.
Yeah.
It was-
So did you
guys
like
did a
dive
good-
into your drum set?
Well, I mean, it wasn't really, it wasn't an intended thing. It wasn't absolutely planned, but
You
the song itself that we were playing, the creators,
Mhm.
is it kind of has this it kind of has its own natural freak out at the end where
Yeah.
Nathan goes on and screams and it's really violent and passionate,
Mhm.
and it just so happened that it was our first show and everything that could go wrong did go wrong, but we powered through it, and I was happy about that. But my drum set literally started falling apart at the end of the song. One of the cymbals fell off. Like the whole, I mean, not just the cymbal itself, but the whole.
Which you could probably tell from the re-recording session
Yeah.
that that's a recurring theme.
Yeah.
Although when he threw his pedal at me, that was very intentional.
Well,
Yeah, and basically after stuff started falling apart, like
And Nathan
right at the end of the
unplugged
song,
my
we
guitar,
just
but he didn't know it.
Yeah.
I was like, Paul
Wow.
and I looked at each other, and it's like,
I was in the zone, man.
I wish I could have been there to see this.
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It's on our
Yeah.
it's on our Facebook page. It's just the tail end of the performance, and we just we're just having fun, and we tried that not in our practice space, which is a really good idea because other things can happen that are bad.
Yeah, like broken windows. And,
I kind of fell through a window a little bit.
Yes, it was not intentional. We
No, it
were
wasn't.
not trying to vandalize.
I didn't even know until like the next day when we got a
Yeah.
phone call.
We got a phone call. Like, did something happen last night? I said, why? Well, the windows shattered.
Wow.
And
Is this the place that you guys practice at?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys
see, I don't even know this story. I've never heard this.
we never told
Yeah.
Michael that.
Oh, wait, yeah. I think it was one of those things we were really in a hurry to sweep under the rug
Yeah,
as quickly as
yeah.
possible.
A little hidden scandal there.
Yeah. No, it just we were just having a good time and just releasing some energy, and we're just kind of goofing around. And I do remember kind of falling backwards off of my my drum throne thing.
It's not the first time you've fallen off your
Oh, yeah.
drum either.
Yeah, and apparently when I did that, it must have, I think the windows are really old, and I might have just bumped into it a little
Yeah.
bit, and it was enough to
Yeah.
crack it and make it shatter because
Yeah.
there wasn't any but we felt awful about it, and
If anybody from the
paid for
academy
it.
is
Yeah.
watching this, then
they know. They
it's,
know.
I was just kidding. It's
We apologized up
Yeah.
and down for that. Yeah, felt really bad.
So do you guys have like material-wise? Do you have enough to put down a full length? Do you guys plan on recording
We
a
have-
full length?
We have no shortage of songs. It's just getting the time and resources together to
Yeah.
record albums.
Developing,
Yeah, I
we're,
did-
we're still kind of in the developmental phase of a lot of the songs that they're still kind of coming together, but easily easily 9-10 songs that we know pretty well.
That we know as a full band, but
Right.
I mean, there's like
You have a ton that
Yeah.
you've written
a ton.
that you haven't
I mean,
shown?
yeah, I've been writing since I was 17. So
Yeah.
there's about 30 or 40 songs that could potentially be learned by the band, and we're also writing new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of pisses me off because I write stuff too, and I keep wanting to bring stuff to the band, and it takes me a little longer because I have a kid and a job and shit.
Yeah.
And and the fact that Nathan, young whippersnapper that he is, just like fucking cranks them out in the time it takes me to eat a meal.
Yeah.
I wrote 2 songs while you're reading that.
Yeah, well, you've got your drawing, I've got my songwriting.
Yeah, but I want both.
I want it
your
all.
songwriting.
Yeah. So do you guys plan on doing more shows here in town?
Yeah,
I sure hope so.
If they'll let us, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this will lend itself to helping us get some shows too, because I think between us we could probably stir up a little bit of activity on our own, but this will definitely help me, especially the other bands on this compilation. I've already heard about some of the other bands, and people saying, "Oh, you guys should play with the Nancy Boys." Who
I'd love to
just
play
heard.
with,
yeah, I mean they're awesome.
And I'd like to
Great.
play with
Love to
Stiff
do a
Middle
show.
Fingers too.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
They're all great bands. There's a lot of good bands here in town.
I don't really know. I kind of don't get out enough. I prefer
Yeah,
to.
I don't know either.
I prefer to look inward.
Let's just say that the Lawrence music scene has a way of looking very promising at times,
Mhm.
and before it seems to reach realization, it has a way of kind of petering out. And
Yeah.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen, because I have heard a lot of bands just in the past, like 6-7 months, that are really good. I mean, there are a lot of different bands. So, I mean, this kind of a project does a great job of putting these people together. And
I feel like the Lawrence music scene has a little bit of an inferiority complex.
yeah,
Yeah.
Not quite confident enough to develop into something. Like I saw a news clip from like the 90s or something on
Mhm.
YouTube where they're like, "Forget about Seattle."
Dude, I took
Right,
that
right.
from volume 2. We took that clip and we added to the first track.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
That's
yeah. I mean, I get tired of hearing stuff like, "Oh yeah, the Get Up Kids, right? They're from Lawrence."
Lawrence is the new Seattle, and then they cut to like the obligatory Nirvana sound-alike band.
You know, I moved here in '93, and I know it's like that old guy who says it's not like it used to be, but I moved here because there was a really promising music scene, and it wasn't like, it used to be punk didn't just mean one genre of music. It was like there was all these bands, and they all sounded very different from one another, but they all fell under that umbrella,
definitely.
which is what I would like to see again.
And that's what I think with this comp, man. I think there's a lot of bands that could fit on this comp that aren't technically punk rock, or everything's kind of could fit in that little
Anything
genre.
that kind of has that DIY sort of vibe,
Mhm.
you know.
But I can tell you that none of them will have Paul as their bass player, because this guy is insane. He is added.
None of them are gonna have
So we were
us.
practicing, Mike and Nathan and I, and I mean the songs were there. We knew that, but it just sounded like sludge. It was just like as a drummer, I didn't have anything to kind of help walk me through the song or make a decision on what I wanted for the song, and Paul just totally filled the gap and then some.
Yeah,
Really.
finally a good Craigslist story.
Yeah, finally.
So that's how you guys found.
Yep.
Craig, good old Craig.
Back pages.
He was very much. I don't know if I'm the right fit for you guys. I'm an older guy, and I played in country and stuff like that. And first time I met him, I'm like, "You're in."
Yeah.
Yeah, although I'm about to fire Michael and Paul and hire a couple of good-looking younger guys.
So you better get rid of Joshua while you're at
mohawks.
it.
Yeah.
Joshua's cool. He's got pink hair.
So the 2 songs that you guys chose to be on this comp, is there any specific reason why you chose these 2 songs?
Well, Count Me Out is like the catchy, short, easy listening pop tune to hook people in. And then Sinus Infection is the rugged, manly punk rock tune that sounds like shit. And it's experimental because it's discordant. Pain in my ass, sinus infection, it's a road to a classless axe. I don't want to lose it, but I think I'm fading fast, and I can't lose anything I've never. We don't play it well.
So was that like, did you decide on the songs?
I
Or did
kind
you guys
of
kind of come together
well,
in an agreement?
It was kind of a group decision, wasn't it?
It was kind of a group decision. I mean, we talked about it quite a bit. I know there was a little bit of. We have a couple new songs that we were definitely wanting to record, and I was kind of pulling for Leach, but neither Nathan or I'm sorry, Paul or Mike had heard them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we had kind of put the songs together, and we were getting ready to introduce them, but we just didn't have enough time. So the two songs are a pretty good representation of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
But there is another side to the band as well that's a little bit more chill. That's not completely. I mean, I think the aesthetic to all of our stuff is punk, honestly. But like you were talking about, there being bands that don't fit the 1-2 fuck you typical punk rock schlock stuff. We have a lot of that too. So I mean, we do this. We have this song that's an old like Irish, folk hymn kind of thing called "The Bed of Red Roses."
Our one cover is a 300-year-old.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I mean, that would have been another song that would have been great to cover because it's and it's definitely good drinking music, and
It's also 300 beats per minute.
right,
Yes.
super fast. Would have been real fun to do in the studio in a 3-hour.
So
Right.
So you guys are on social media. You guys have your own Facebook page, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how can people find you then? You know the link to that?
Our Facebook page?
Yeah.
It's just called Folklore Suburbia.
Exactly. Just look for that.
You can get to our. I have a Twitter that I run for us too, but best way to get to that is just to go to my handle is @radio_potato. @radio_potato. That's the Twitter thing. My Facebook is just Joshua Duringer, and I'm the only one, so it's easy enough to find.
So do you guys have like a YouTube channel as well, or?
Yeah, we have a YouTube channel, which is also called Folklore Suburbia, which
There
has
you go.
stuff, but it's stuff that does not include the full band, because I did a solo album by myself before I taught the songs to the rest of
Okay,
them.
so you have an album out already. What's the title of the album?
It's called Space Ladies from Outer Space.
And how can people find it?
It's on the YouTube channel. It's in
Up in the
full
sky.
on the YouTube channel.
Do you guys have a Bandcamp page?
No, we don't.
I started one, but I can't figure out how to upload the fucking songs. So
We should definitely get a Bandcamp. I love
Yeah.
Bandcamp, man.
Yeah, Bandcamp is cool, and we don't have anything on SoundCloud either, do we?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I have a SoundCloud, but it's like old demos and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, it's stuff we should work on. I mean, this compilation definitely makes us want to, have more outlets for our music.
Just give us some gigs. Come to our shows.
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing I think that we want to, if there's one thing that we want out of this whole thing, it's, we want to do some shows in town and out of town, and we'll take it, whatever you can throw at us.
Yeah.
I mean, parties, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs.
Bar mitzvahs.
Well, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for
Thank you.
wanting to be a part of the comp. So it's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much. Folklore Suburbia is the best.